I had been living in the virtual world of Second Life as a girl for over a year. It had been a wonderful experience being the girl I always wanted to be. Blonde, beautiful, and stylish. I had made many friends, both girls and boys, and nobody suspected I was anything other than the girl they saw before them. Second Life is a place where virtual romance and even sex is prevalent, and something about the freedom of being incognito lets everyone go wild. Fantasies are played out to the full and people are free to express their innermost desires. On entering the virtual world, I was sure I was going to be a cute submissive. I found out how to buy clothes and soon found the most gorgeous pink frilly maid's outfit to flit around in. I met a dominant lady to take care of me. But I quickly discovered it did not feel at all right. Instead, with a change into some leather and heels, I discovered I loved the feeling of power I had over men. I could get them to do anything I wanted after arousing them with some sexy stories. I even made them buy some stockings in real life and wear them for me when we met online. I converted more than a few into first-time submissive crossdressers. I would toy with them with my typed words and have them eating out of the palms of my hands, or more precisely licking the heels of my stilettos. Along the way I met a dominant male called Zach. We met at an online virtual dom/sub club and hit it off straight away. We became great friends and would often go out dancing and flirting in virtual nightclubs. He would also buy me virtual clothes, which he loved me wearing for him. We rarely slept together online but occasionally did, and it was always very sensual. He had a wonderful descriptive way with words. He never suspected I was a boy, especially when I slipped him a false photograph of myself, which was really a picture of an ex-girlfriend. He had sent me a picture of himself, wearing a black cowboy hat and dressed all in black. He was very handsome. We had been friends for 6 months and had got to know each other very well online when he told me he was coming to my hometown and wanted to meet. Oh dear. That would never do. He knew I was in a relationship, which was really with a lady, but he naturally thought it was with a guy, so that was my excuse. However, he was very insistent, saying we should just meet as friends and it would do no harm. I continually refused for obvious reasons, and soon it was the night of his visit. He left me a message online telling me the pub he was going to be in. I knew I could not meet as a girl. I had never gone out in public even though I had an extensive wardrobe. But I was intrigued to see him. So to cut a long story short, here I am in the pub, in boy mode, looking across the bar at Zach, patiently waiting for his dream dom girl to turn up and meet him. He was as handsome as his picture suggested, and still wearing all black. He had a manly chest with a very slim waist and legs. His tight jeans and cowboy boots gave him a pop star look. I liked him straight away. Although in boy mode, I wore tight white jeans with light cowboy boots and a light pink shirt open at the neck to reveal a glimpse of a smooth chest. I had long hair tied in a ponytail boy mode instead of high on the head like I do when dressing up. It was not an effeminate look even though it would not take much to change it to be so. I took a deep breath and walked over to sit beside him in the crowded bar. He took no notice of me, just thinking it was another guy waiting for some friends. He was calm and poised while my heart was racing at 200 beats a minute and inside I was jelly. We sat next to each other for 15 minutes without a word being said. Well, looks like I've been stood up, he said softly to himself and then glancing across at me. I took the bait. Supposed to be meeting someone? I said innocently. Yeah, he smiled. A lovely blonde should have been walking through the door and sitting on my lap. But you can't have it all. Cheers. We clinked glasses and laughed. I asked him who she was, what she looked like and what he thought happened. He told me the tale of this wonderful online friendship and how he had never met her but knew she would be stunning and lovely. He told me how she had a happy, bright personality who lit up the room when she entered the online world and how she was so popular with everyone. It was so incredible hearing about my feminine persona and what a wonderful girl I seemed to have become online. I felt so joyous inside. Cindy was real to him, and to me. Just then a blonde walked in. "Maybe that is Cindy," I said. He looked over and thought. Yes, she was pretty, but somehow he thought it was not her. "I agree," I said. "I think she wouldn't wear those clothes. She would be in a pencil skirt, wrapped tightly around her bum and construing her knees, giving her a sway as she walked. Her top would be tight, black with a lace section at the top, revealing her lacy bra underneath and allowing a glimpse of nipple to be hardly seen, but you knew it was there. Her hair would be cascading down her back. She would have on high 6-inch stiletto ankle boots and ruby red lips with a shimmer of gloss. You would know her straight away, and I looked into his eyes and smiled. He kept quiet, looking back at me, and laughed. "I think you are right," he said. "You know her better than I do." He slapped me on the back and ordered another round of drinks. We talked and laughed for a long time, becoming good friends in a short time. At various times he would get onto his small computer, log into Second Life and look for messages from Cindy Serenade. Then at one time he seemed to be reading old conversations that he had saved. I knew it, he laughed, and then without saying a word he got up and ran out of the pub. Oh! I thought to myself. What happened there? Not even a so long. I sat at the bar and sipped at my wine for another 10 minutes. Suddenly over my shoulder came an arm in a black shirt and a single red rose was put on the bar in front of me. Zach sat next to me again, smiling. "I bought this rose for my friend Cindy," he smiled, "and this champagne." He picked up my hand and put the glass into it. "For you, sweet Cindy." I nearly fell off my chair. I gulped. My heart went back to that unbelievably fast pounding rate and my hands started to sweat. "How did you know?" I said coyly. "Ha! Your description of what Cindy would be wearing, of course. Look!" He showed me one of our past conversations and almost word for word I saw the description I voiced earlier. In the online message I had been talking about what I was going to wear for him one night. I laughed out loud. There was an awkward silence as he looked me over. "I would never have guessed you were a guy from all the months we have been talking. I know there are lots of guys pretending to be girls, but you really are a girl online. There is nothing at all male about you. Even girls I know are sure you are a lovely female. I am guessing your virtual self is closer to the real you than maybe the person I see before me." I blushed, in a very girly way. Then it all blurted out and I told him how I have been dressing up in girls' clothes ever since I was little. How as I grew up I had a secret existence where I would go away for a weekend and be Cindy all alone. How Second Life allowed me to be the girl I wanted to be and how I made so many wonderful friends. And how that led me to him, my best friend ever, in the virtual world and the real world. He smiled and held my hand secretly under the bar. "It is funny seeing you like this, but I know it is you inside and I like you so very much. Even love you. I am conflicted. I want to see a girl and dance with her in real life instead of online. I am not gay, so I am conflicted." He then smiled brightly and said, "Come on, Cindy. I know what to do." He led me out of the pub, with me holding my rose, embarrassed and nervous. He took me to Soho, where all the sex shops are, and led me into one that had beautiful lingerie and sexy clothes on display in the windows. "Well, let's see the real Cindy." He thrust a wad of cash in my hand and said, "Buy what Cindy would wear, get dressed up in one of the booths, and I will be back in, what shall we say, 45 minutes? I gulped and nodded shyly, holding the notes in my small hands. A middle-aged lady had been watching us and walked over as Zach walked out laughing. "I hope you don't mind, but I overheard some of that. Are you Cindy? I looked down and whispered softly, "Yes." "Don't worry, dear," she said softly as she held my arm, "I will help Cindy come alive tonight. She smiled at me warmly and my transformation began. Luckily, there was some cross-dressing clothing in the store, so we started with undies. We found a lovely, pink lacy gaff to help hold things in place. We decided we would have an entirely pink outfit to accentuate the girl in me. There was a large rack of handmade fully boned corsets. I found a white satin corset edged with pink lace around the bra and the bottom. It had delicate ribbons running up the sides and front with lacy wide shoulder straps. 6 pink suspenders dangled from the bottom edge. The stockings were white with lacy tops and a seam down the back. She took me to some skirts hanging at the back of the shop. She thought I might like a mini to show off my legs, but I knew the look I wanted. I did not think I would find one, but near the edge of the rack there it was. In stretchy but good quality fabric, perfectly made to accentuate curves, a tight, hot pink knee-length pencil skirt. "Perfect," shouted the assistant, "and I have the best top to go with it." She disappeared for a minute and came out with a lovely top in exactly the same hot pink color. The top above the bust line was all lace that went to a high neck and ran down the arms to link over one finger. It was stunning. "Well, Cindy, let's get you dressed." She led me to a booth and sat me down. "Now take off those boy clothes and slip on this dressing gown. I'll do your makeup." Once stripped and clad in a gorgeous satin dressing gown, I sat down expectantly. Her name was Maria, came in and started on my makeup. "You have lovely high cheekbones and a slim neck. You will make a lovely girl, Cindy." She put a light foundation on my skin, rubbing down to the neck. It was a bright skin color to accentuate the pink of my outfit. All my blemishes and maleness seemed to disappear just with that layer of foundation. At my eyebrows she stopped and thought. "You know, you have to make a decision. Your eyebrows are too thick for a girl, and although I can cover them up a little, it will detract enormously from the look of Cindy." "Cindy, can I shape them?" I knew what this meant. If I said yes, then everyone seeing me from then on would know I shaped my eyebrows and my secret would be out. Home, work, everyone. Was I ready for this? I took a deep breath and said, "Yes." It hurt like hell since this was the first time they had been plucked. Maria shaped my eyebrows, thin, but not too thin, and high so there was a lovely high arch. It immediately transformed my face to a more feminine appearance. Maria finished the foundation and then touched up my eyebrows with light mascara. She worked on some different shades of pink to highlight my cheekbones and then set to work on my eyes. I wanted a dark smoky look, so Maria started with black eyeliner on the insides of my lids and also below and above the lashes. She worked different shades of black and gray out from there, smudging them together as she went until the colors spread to the edge of my brows in a silver glow. She attached long false eyelashes and finished these off with some more mascara. I opened my eyes, feeling the long lashes on my eyelids, and saw how amazingly stunning my eyes now looked. Any slight movement or expression was accentuated 100 times, making me look seductive, feminine but strong. These eyes will control any man. Maria finished with hot pink lipstick, putting layers on between foundation. Maria said this will keep the lipstick on all night in case I get kissed. Then she finished with not one, but 3 layers of gloss. My lips were like pink mirrors shining in the light. But then came the final part. Maria undid my ponytail and produced her curling tongs. She heated, curled and lacquered madly until I had a stunning covering of long curled hair cascading down my back and across the side of my face seductively. OMG. I was stunning. Cindy was alive. Maria helped me squeeze into my corset, pulling it so tight that I nearly fainted. At last, my hourglass figure was taking shape in the mirror. Maria then produced some amazingly wonderful breast forms. But instead of just placing them down my bra cups, she glued the base before she slid them in. This will keep them in place in case you want to feel what it is like to walk around with breasts, Cindy. I slipped on the top, taking care not to smudge any makeup, and shook out my hair again. Then Maria helped me step into my tight pencil skirt, which was hard to do because the corset would not allow me to bend very easily. It slipped over my hips and I zipped it up tightly onto my small waist. I turned to look in the mirror and saw how sexy my bum and legs now had become. Then Maria said she had a surprise for me and turned up with a gorgeous pair of 6-inch pink stiletto ankle boots. They laced up at the front and had 2 straps around the ankle. A little padlock was attached at the top of each boot and Maria gave me the key. I had no way of getting them on without Maria's help because of the tight corset, so I know I had no chance to get them off without someone's help. This was going to be interesting. Maria let me sit down to admire myself while she finished off by doing my nails with stick-ons and bright hot pink nail varnish. I stood up and saw Cindy for the first time. She was beautiful, sexy, and real. Maria whispered in my ear, "Oh, Cindy. You are stunning. If you were not with that guy, I would want you myself." She turned me round and softly kissed my lips. "See," she said smiling, "the lipstick sticks." We giggled as girls together. I walked out of the shop, with my heels delicately balanced and my bum wiggling sexily in a sidewards, swirling motion to accommodate the fact that my knees could hardly part in my pencil skirt. God, it was a sexy walk. I stood by the counter. 5 minutes before Zach would come in. The 5 minutes took forever when the door swung open and in walked a bright, handsome Zach in his tight black jeans. I don't know if you have ever really seen someone's jaw drop in real life, but that is exactly what happened to Zach. He stood there like a zombie with his mouth wide open and a little bit of saliva actually oozed down his chin. Maria and I both burst into laughter. "Well, Zach. Cindy is here and she wants to dance," I said softly as I sashayed over to Zach, one foot in front of the other and my bum swaying seductively from side to side. "Go, Cindy," laughed Maria from the counter, "you show him, girl." Zach still never spoke but took my arm, staring at me all the time, and walked me out of the shop. We walked down the road, oblivious to the lecherous stares of penned-up men stalking the sex district as I swayed down the street looking into his eyes. Zach took me into the nearest nightclub, and still without saying a word led me to the dance floor. I faced my man for the first time as he took my hands and wrapped them round his neck. His strong arms held my waist as he pulled me to him. I could feel his breath on my skin as my face came close to his, and I could feel some movement in his jeans as he pulled me in to touch his body for the first time. We swayed to the music. I deliberately swayed slightly out of time, feeling the front of my tight, pink pencil skirt brush against his jeans. And I could now definitely feel him pushing into me from his loins. He was growing fast. I know he was embarrassed, but nothing was said. I know that he was a dominant male, but I knew he was falling into my feminine trap and could not resist once his loins started this journey. He pulled me closer and I felt my breasts push against his chest, squeezing flesh-like excess mounds out the top of my corset bra. His hands moved from my waist down to my bottom, caressing my bum over the tight softness of my pink skirt. I gasped at the feel of his touch and looked up at him. His eyes met mine. And he spoke for the first time. "I love you, Cindy," he whispered as his lips closed in on mine and touched. My pink, soft, shiny lips caressed his manly mouth and parted slightly as his tongue entered me. Our tongues danced together as he closed his lips round mine. My own loins moved against the constraints of my skirt. I am Cindy. I am a girl. I am his.